back to the YouTube channel on Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my Round 8 Super League tips for 2022 rivalry round. So, yeah, this makes things spice up, I think, for this round of football. Should be good. We've got a lot of derbies going on, a lot of rivalries that have been in the Super League for ages. So, it should be a good week of footy, you know. I know there's not a whole lot of Super League fans I know, apart from a couple. But you know, if you can, I would recommend tuning in to some of the games, because some of the games are really big actually over there in England, and you know, I think there's a lot of hype around them. So, like, you know, Dragons Toulouse, you know, both French teams gonna be interesting to see how they go. You know, you got Saints and Wigan. This has been a rivalry that's been going for a long time. Another one I like is the Hull Derby, Hull FC versus Hull KR, both Hull teams from the same city. So that definitely brings out a rivalry and a bit of a genuine hate between the two sides, because of the city they're both from in Hull in England. Yeah, so look, it's gonna be a good week of footy, I reckon, and I'm looking forward to it. So the first game of round 8 is Catalan Dragons versus Toulouse Olympique at Stade Gilbert Brutus Stadium. Alright, on to the first game of rivalry round. It is Catalans Dragons up against Toulouse Olympique at Stade Gilbert Brutus Stadium in France, obviously. So, yeah, the French rivalry, of course. Looking at Catalans' recent form, they have won every single game apart from round 1, and then they lost just the week before, back in round 7 against Huddersfield, and it was a bit of a shock loss, actually. I thought they would actually win, Catalans, but Huddersfield convincingly beat them. And looking at Toulouse's recent form, the Toulouse have not improved too much. I mean, they beat Saints recently, which is a big win, but other than that, they lost to Castleford the week before as well. So they need to sort of string some consistent wins and string some consistent performances, I think, as well. So, who am I going to go with? I think Catalans will be way too good for Toulouse Olympique in the French derby. So I'm going to tip Catalans by probably about 18 points, I reckon. 13 plus. And now the other game on to the next one is Wakefield Trinity versus Castleford Tigers at Bigwell Sports Stadium, home of Wakefield, obviously. So, look, this will be another interesting game. Rivalry, of course, as we know of. And, this can go either way, literally. It can go either way. Looking at Trinity's recent form, they've been really good, Wakefield. They've won their last 3 games against Toulouse, Warrington and Salford, and all by convincingly scorelines, despite letting in a couple of tries as well. Castleford's form's been a bit, meh. It hasn't been great. They did beat Toulouse the week before, but anyone can beat Toulouse at this point. So I think I'm leaning towards the Wakefield to get the job done here over Castleford, but I wouldn't be surprised Castleford can turn up, because Castleford, they might be losing, but they actually are in the contests most of the time, so there could be a chance, but I will go with Wakefield to win by 10. Alright, on to the third game. It is Leeds Rhinos and the Huddersfield Giants at Headingley Stadium, home of Leeds Rhinos. So, look, it's been a real tough couple of weeks, and it's been a tough year in general for the Leeds Rhinos. I don't know what's happened to their form. I understand they had a lot of suspensions with players and injuries at the same time, but still, they're considered to be so highly rated in the season to get up to top 4, top 3 at least, and they've really have slid down this year. They're second last at the moment, I'm pretty sure, so they need to really get their act together and play better. And as for Huddersfield, they've been in really good form recently. They've been really impressive, actually. One of the most surprise packet teams in 2022, I believe. You can argue against that, but I believe they are the most surprising team of this year, surprise packet. So it should be a good clash, I reckon. But looking at how Leeds have been going, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Huddersfield have been losing a couple of games, but they've been winning a majority. But look, Huddersfield should be too good. I'm going to base Huddersfield off their form, and I think they'll win by about 12 points. I think Leeds are in all sorts at the moment. On to the fourth game of round 8. It is Warrington Wolves versus Salford Red Devils, and this is another real head rivalry. It can be, and it's played at the home ground of Warrington at Halliwell Jones Stadium. Look, Warrington have been very disappointing. They've lost the last 4 games, and I was expecting them to sort of win a bit more and be better in terms of form recently, but they're really struggling, and it's going to be tough to sort of see how they can improve from those losses. And as for Salford have been very good. Even though they've lost They've lost 1, 2, 3, 4 out of their last 6. They've lost 4 games out of their last 6, but overall they've been a bit better than Warrington, I think, and you know, but yeah, look, it's gonna be a very interesting game, I reckon. They can go either way, but I'll tell you what, I will back Salford to win. I was very tempted to go with Warrington, but I just think Salford are in better form. They're in better position, I believe, as well. And I think they were unlucky to lose Wakefield last week, even though I tipped against them for that game anyway. But I think Salford will be a bit too good, and I'll tip Salford by about 8 points. On to the fifth and final game of round 8. It is Hull KR against Hull FC. I'm sorry, I got the two Hulls neatly mixed for a second. But yeah, it's Hull KR versus Hull FC at Craven Park, home of KR, obviously. So yeah, looking at the recent form of Hull KR, they've been alright. They've been a bit better than they've been similar, but I think looking at their recent form has been a little bit better than what Hull FC have sort of dished up lately. They seem to have had a good win over Warrington the week before Hull FC, but they have had a couple of losses along the way as well, so need to be consistent in terms of backing up form from a win. As for Hull FC, well, like I said, they're pretty similar in terms of form. They had a loss against Wigan, but other than that, they've had a couple of wins, so it might be a very tight game, and it's not easy to tip, I think it can go either way. But looking at how the game is and what the teams are, I am leaning towards a bit of an upset. I might tip Hull FC to beat Hull KR here in the Hull Derby. Like I said, from both cities, obviously there's genuine hate and dislike, and that's going to make the whole game spice up a bit more and be entertaining. So after all that, though, despite all that, I'm going to go with Hull FC to win by 2 points. I'm going to tip the upset. Now, it's the very last game, round 8, to sort of conclude rivalry round. So, yeah, St. Helens my boys up against Wigan Warriors at Totally Wick Stadium, our home. So, this will be a very good contest because I feel like a team like Wigan can really push us all the way. Wigan have been pretty good this year, I was expecting, well, not expecting, but I thought Wigan would sort of struggle a little bit more, get a bit more losses because of losing Hastings, Gilda, and having no French for a bit of a portion of the season. But they seem to overcome that and have done really well this year. And they currently sit in second place. As for my boys, Saints, they've been on a real roll recently. They've been winning games every week up until that Toulouse game, which I'm still pissed about, but it is what it is. We're missing players for that game, so we'll move on from it and we learn from it. But yeah, look, I think I'm going to back my boys against Saints to get the job done. They should win at home in front of a sold-out crowd because apparently it is going to be a sellout there. So if it is a sellout, then I think we should definitely perform well and definitely get the win here. So I'll back us by about 6 points. I think Wigan will push us, like I said. Anyways, that brings it into my round 8 tips for the Super League for rivalry round. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts, my tips. So thanks again, and I'll catch you on the very next one.